The title at the beginning of this video is just a quick reminder of what we're doing while we're here in Nigeria. We are serving the marginalized church and we are reaching the unreached. We serve the church through discipleship, evangelism, and education. We work very closely with the local pastors to select potential future leaders. We bring them to our school, we run them through a discipleship school, and we take them on various types of outreach in the community. It's not necessarily our goal to train full-time ministers at our school, but really our goal is to train ordinary people and to go into their areas and shine the light of the gospel. Many people have said that 90% of the work is being done by 10% of the people, and we work really hard in our school to try to bring a balance to that equation. However, many of our students do decide to go into full-time ministry. We've had a number of students that during their discipleship school or when they're serving with us on staff have really sensed a strong call to go into full-time ministry. One of the individuals from our school that decided to go into full-time ministry is a young man named Tabangs. Tabangs was in our first discipleship school, and he came back to serve on staff for a number of years, and currently he is enrolled in a theological seminary in Jos, and he's studying to become an apologist. He was so excited a few days ago, he sent me an email with a copy of his report card, and then he gave me a phone call to make sure that I got it, but he wanted me to know that in his classes he was getting all A's and B's. So congratulations, Tabangs. I know that you're probably watching this video. I'd like to tell just a quick story about Tabangs. A few years ago, I had the privilege to accompany him as he went to meet with his father. He wanted to do some reconciliation. And I remember sitting in his parlor with just him and his dad, and Tabangs was on his knees weeping before his dad, asking him forgiveness for all of the trouble that he'd brought to his father over the years. It was just a beautiful time of reconciliation. I didn't put him up to this. This was completely his idea. He came to me and asked me if I would come with him. So it's really just been a privilege for me to get to know Tabangs, to see him mature in his walk with the Lord. So this is just one example of how we are serving the body of believers in this community. I also said that one of our other goals is to reach the unreached. And even though we live in kind of a little pocket of Christianity within Nigeria, we are completely surrounded by many people that are within some of the unreached people groups that you hear about within Nigeria. The main one is the Fulani people. So our family has been back in Nigeria now for just a little bit over a month, and I think the adjustment is going quite well. Of course, there are always some things that we have to adjust to, especially after being gone for such a long period of time. One of those things is the electricity. Many of you have heard me talk about the electricity here, but on average, we get about 1 hour of electricity per day. Most days we don't get electricity. It'll go like 2 or 3 or 4 days without electricity, and then all of a sudden at some unexpected time of the day, we'll get electricity for like 3 or 4 hours. And that's just kind of one of the things we have to get used to. However, on the other hand, on our first night in Nigeria, we stayed at a guest house in Jos, about 5 hours from here, that had hot showers. But our children, having been raised in Africa or spent most of their life in Africa, they bypassed the hot showers and instead chose to take cold bucket baths. And those of you that have come to visit us in Nigeria or you've been to Africa and other places, you'll know that this is the primary way that people take their bath. So in some ways it's hard to adjust to being here, but also in many ways our family feels that we have come back home.